Yo, what's up, everybody? Pudge Fernandez here with another episode of Hot Pudge Sunday Facebook Live. Again, this is like I don't know, what am I up to? 6, 7 Sundays in a row? Not bad. It's been a hell of a journey, not an easy one. Happy Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day to everybody celebrating today. I'll get into that in a second, but before I start, first I want to give my apologies to everybody who's watching, because if you watched this before, Hot Pudge Sunday Facebook Live, I made it so I'd be in a different location, somewhere cool in New York City in the 5 boroughs, and I've done that so most of the time. But also, if you've watched this before, you've heard me complain and confess what a technological dumbass I am. A lot of ins and outs, ups and downs in this journey that I'm taking during the coronavirus, as far as my social media and Facebook and Instagram and getting my YouTube channel, Hot Pudge Sunday. A lot of learning curves. And today was one of them. So my apologies that I'm not at a location. Actually, I was at a location. Okay, today's being Memorial Day. I wanted to do it somewhere special, and I actually went to the Vietnam Memorial in downtown Manhattan. So I was there, and I was planning to record from there. However, I was having technical difficulties with my cell phone. I don't know. I just don't fucking know. Sometimes it just drives me nuts. I don't know. I did everything I could. I was there. It was very somber, very cool place. I'd never been there before, so I was excited. But I couldn't I don't know. I was offline with my cell phone. I don't know what it is. Sometimes when I go to sleep at night, I wake up, I'm offline, and I'm playing with it. I'm going from Wi-Fi to this to the other, and I couldn't get it. So yes, again, my apologies. I was at the Vietnam Memorial. Not more than 20, 30 minutes ago. And when I couldn't get online with my cell phone, I said, fuck it, and just race back home. So I'm here in my house, in my studio, and hey, coming to you live. And maybe this is this is the way it's supposed to be. You know, here it's Memorial Day weekend. I got the camouflage background. I'm paying homage to my division. Shout out to the 1st Cavalry Division. And what's up, Lou? What's up, Air? Glad to join us. So yeah, I'm paying my homage. Most of you guys know I'm a veteran. I did 8 years in the military. For 4 of those years was with the 1st Cavalry Division. So, my heart goes out to them and their history. Special shout out to my unit, 2nd Battalion, 7th Cavalry, the Gary Owen Battalion. I can't tell you how much pride I have in my unit. I mean, the amount of history that they have and just the battles they've been through and just, wow, it's just amazing. So for some of you guys that know your history, you guys, the 7th Cavalry goes way back. One of their first, I wouldn't say their first battles, but the first battle that made them famous was Custer's Last Stand. Of course, everybody remembers General Custer. And he took his unit in, the 7th Cavalry. They got wiped out. Not the best way to start our history. But, yeah, that's where it began. But it got better. I mean, the 7th Cavalry, from Custer's Last Stand to the Vietnam War, to the Korean War, the Vietnam War. They actually World War II as well. I think the 7th Cavalry, what was it? I know the 1st Cavalry Division was in World War II. I don't know if the 7th was, but I know they were in Vietnam. And that was a piece of important history. If you guys seen, I totally recommend. Mel Gibson did a movie about my unit in Vietnam, in the Battle of Ai Drang Valley. It's based off the book We Were Soldiers Once and Young. And he made the movie. Again, We Were Soldiers. Great movie. Very pretty, from what I understand, and I've done a little bit of research, very accurate. Most military movies are not that accurate, or there's always something off about it, or, Hollywood and how they like to switch things up. But for the most part, it seemed pretty accurate, and it was a very cool movie. Mel Gibson did a great job. acting as Hal Moore, Lieutenant Colonel of 7th Cavalry. It's a big moment. It was the very first battle where the Americans met uh, the Vietnamese in battle. So it was the first official battle. I know there may have been some skirmishes before, under the table, but the first official battle was with the 7th Cavalry, Gary Owen Battalion. So, and that's my battalion. That's my history. So yeah, take great pride in that. I remember when I was serving in Fort Hood, Texas, the book had just came out, and it was mandatory reading. The colonel made it mandatory reading for all officers to read that book, and a very strong suggestive reading to all the NCOs. And of course, all the enlisted guys, I mean, we weren't obligated to read it, but we didn't have to, because all the stories filtered down to us, and it's a great piece of history. It was a hell of a battle, an absolute hell of a battle. Again, if you're not, hey, you're on lockdown, so if you want to see a good movie, We Were Soldiers with Mel Gibson, the story of Ai Drang Valley, the first battle the Americans had with the Vietnamese, and hell of a movie. So yeah, great piece of history. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to all the family members who lost somebody. This is what Memorial Day is about. Paying homage and paying respect to the soldiers we lost. Soldiers, Marines, airmen, naval, everybody. Because it's the ultimate price. It's the ultimate price. Somebody once told me that when we enlist into the military, we're writing a blank check to Uncle Sam. And how that check is cashed, we don't know. Sometimes that check is cashed in full, and soldiers pay the ultimate price, and sometimes it's cashed in other ways. So I know it's a lot of people are barbecuing and see it as a vacation to the beach or whatever, but people should really, really, really take the time to just, I don't know, take a moment of silence, recognize the people who put their lives on the line, people who have passed away, and providing a service for their country. Okay, I think it's a very big deal. There's a lot of people who never served, and technically you don't have to serve. We don't have a draft anymore. We did at one time, but you don't have to serve. In a lot of other countries, people don't realize how lucky some Americans got it. In a lot of other countries, everywhere from Colombia to Israel to I think Thailand, it's mandatory to do military service. You gotta, after high school, you have to go into the military. Well, we don't have that here in the United States. It's strictly volunteer. So yeah, thanks to all the volunteers, we have an awesome army, an awesome military, Marines, Navy, and nobody has to be drafted. So take into consideration, thanks to the volunteers, we're good. Okay. And these are the volunteers who go out and train and fight, and sometimes, again, pay the ultimate price, which is why we have a Memorial Day. So take the time, and I don't know. I don't think you can go, everybody knows somebody who joined and probably lost somebody. All right. We've had a lot of wars, especially lately, between, Iraq and Afghanistan. Everybody knows somebody. And sometimes it's not the total loss, but of life. But it's, in some cases, the soldiers, Marines, they do come home, but there's still a loss there. Okay, they didn't lose their life per se, but they lost something. It may have been physical, it may have been mental, it may have been spiritual. But for those who saw combat and came and were able to come back, it's not always the same. All right. I myself, again, I did 8 years, 4 years mechanized infantry in Fort Hood, Texas, with the 1st Cavalry Division. And then I did 4 years in the National Guard, straight leg infantry. And go figure, I never saw combat. My 8 years fell in between the wars. What fucking dumb luck is that? still boggles my mind. 8 years in the infantry, and I fell in between the wars. I didn't see combat. It's a head scratcher, a personal issue that I have, kind of bothers me. Maybe talk about that some other time. But over the course of my military career and afterwards, and when I go to the VA, I've met many hundreds, maybe thousands of military personnel, ex-military personnel who did go to combat, and I can tell you, it takes something out of them. So again, we're paying tribute. Memorial Day is for the ones we've lost, absolutely. But let's also, just a tribute for the ones who came back, because they did lose something as well. Okay, some of them it was physical, some of them is mental, spiritual, whatever. But it's just a day to honor them. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody who's ever served, and especially to those who been in combat. I take it very personal, obviously, because I served and shit. And one of the things I wanted to talk about, and what irks me, and one of the reasons why I chose to go to the Vietnam Memorial, because I think out of all the wars, obviously we all know, most of us know the history about the Vietnam War. It wasn't a pleasant war. During that time, there was a lot of demonstrations, anti-war demonstrations, as there always is. There usually is, but this was a very, let's just say, it was a twisted war. I don't want to get into the politics and who did this, who did that, did we win, did we lose, was it a tie? But the thing that bothers me the most was the recognition that everyone who served did, the recognition that they did not get. And what they got was absolute, in most cases, hatred. There was a huge misunderstanding what was going on at that time. I understand that it was a big peace and love movement, and there was a lot of anti-war movements. And hey, that's cool. That's America. That's why we took an oath to protect the Constitution of the United States and all that good stuff. But I never liked the fact about how our soldiers and sailors and Marines got treated on the way back. That always irked me and pissed me off. Okay, because you have to separate the two. Okay, you have to separate the individual who's serving versus the government and the politics who is in charge. Okay, you can be anti-war and you can be anti whatever, but you can't be anti the person. You can't be anti the individual. Okay, because it's just two different things. I'm telling you as a fact, in the years that I served, again, I was in the infantry, so we trained for combat, we trained for battle, we trained to attack and defend and all that, happy horse shit, bang bang blow it up shit. But I can tell you from personal knowledge, like 90% of us, at least, we weren't warmongers. We didn't want to go to battle. We didn't look for battle. We volunteered for specific reasons. We wanted to be there for different reasons. We weren't, I don't recall anyone saying, there was a few, there's always a few, like I said, 90%, we were just, doing our time. We were just serving. We enjoyed what we did. We took pride in what we did. And we never asked for war. We didn't, we were ready. We took an oath, and we understood what that oath meant, and we understood our jobs, and we understood that our asses could be on the line. But we never looked for it. We just trained and we were ready. So, for people to think that we're warmongers, we want battle, we look for battle, I mean, that's just complete horseshit. Absolutely complete bullshit. The reasons why people join the military varies. I mean, for every person you talk to, there's a different reason. Okay, I knew people who, hey, it was tradition. Some people go for it because it's family tradition. There's a lineage of people who served and they wanted to continue that tradition. So it's personal, it's family. Hey, a lot of kids, you guys, everybody knows somebody. Hey, I just want the college money. Don't have money for college, so I want to join, get the college money. That's a lot. That's a lot of people. I knew some guys. I remember in basic training, they just wanted 3 square meals a day in the cot. They came up in a very tough life. they were just their economics was challenging, and sometimes they didn't eat 3 meals a day. Sometimes, they didn't have a home. So the simplicity of, hey, I'm going to go in the military because I just want 3 meals a day and somewhere to sleep. I mean, the reasons. I knew this one kid in my unit. It was part of his inheritance. This guy came from this kid, a guy was a kid. He was funny, nice guy, totally nice guy. But I remember, and he drove a Porsche. He was the only private first class that I've ever seen who drives a Porsche. It was insane. And it turns out he came from a well-to-do, I guess, wealthy family. And part of his inheritance from his grandfather was he had to serve 4 years in the military in order to get it, in order to get his inheritance. So I thought that was pretty funny and cool. So again, the reasons why people join varies. It absolutely varies. But you can't hold the politics and all that other shit against them. I mean, you can hate the government, you can hate the decisions, you can hate the war, you can protest, fine, but you cannot shit on the individual. Okay, they took an oath, they're following orders. The reasons they're going there is their own. Okay, hey, some guys, including kind of myself, I didn't know initially, but knew a lot of guys who got their girlfriends pregnant. So they needed some kind of benefits. They needed a job and benefits fast. So they enlisted. All right. So, the reasons vary, and I can go on and on. Everyone, some are gung ho. Some are gung ho. Some, and that's fine too. But it's not everybody. So I don't like this blanket statement that sometimes some people put on the military. Again, going back to the Vietnam era, how those soldiers were treated was just insanely. It was just god awful. You hear the stories of them being spit on and cursed at, and they had to, when they landed back home, imagine being in combat, getting shot at, bombs, the worst time of your, you're 18, 19-year-old and you survive a year in Vietnam. You come home and you're getting spit on. You hear the stories of vets having to take off their uniforms in airports and change into civilian clothes because they didn't want to get spit on. That's utter. If I could go back in time, I'd fucking slap a lot of those hippie motherfuckers. I swear to God. Again, I'm not if you're anti-war and you want to protest the war, hey, that's all fine and dandy. That's cool. Hey, anti-war, cool. If you want to protest, that's cool. That's your American right, constitutional right. Hey, I'm right behind you 100%. But do not attack the individual military person. That person is a son, that person's a daughter, that person's a husband, that person's a wife, that person enlisted for one of 1,000 reasons. Okay? And you should respect them. Absolutely. Again, because we have a volunteer army and we have so many great Americans that volunteer, you don't have to serve. We don't have mandatory service in the United States. I think we should. So people need to get squared away. That's another story. But because we have a volunteer army and we have volunteers more than enough, you don't have to serve. All right. You don't have to put your ass on the line. Okay. You don't have to kiss your wife and kids goodbye. So absolutely be thankful. Thank those who served. Thanks those who lost family members. Again, Memorial Day for the ones we've lost. But if you see somebody who did serve and they survived, thank them anyway. While I can't say it enough, while they did not lose their life, if they were in combat, they lost something. Again, may have been physical, may have been psychological, may have been spiritual. But you just got to honor everybody across the board. So again, if you're against the government, against war, that's cool. But respect the individuals. You have to. It irks the fucking shit out of me. A couple of years ago, there was a story about a particular New York sports team. It was the Knicks. And they were supposed to do a meet and greet in West Point. So, a lot of sports teams, they do a lot of good causes and meet and greets and go out. So they were supposed to go to West Point and have a lunch with the cadets up there. And one of the Knicks players refused to go because he was against the war. Again, that's another. There's a lot of people like that. And again, I just, I want to talk to them. Sometimes I want to smack them. But again, you got to separate the people, the individual, from the politics. All right, that's got to be done. Okay, it irks the fucking shit out of me. Do not look at a person who's serving and look at him like some kind of a warmonger. Don't look at him like as a bad guy. Hey, it's just a guy trying to provide for his family. It's just a guy trying to get an education. It's just a girl who's looking to improve her life, get a better life. I mean, again, the reasons. There's 100 reasons why people join, and you can't. Again, you got to separate them from the politics. And when it's time to serve, hey, they go serve. They follow orders. They do what they do. And they do it. And because they do it, a lot of you don't have to. So show some respect. All right. And take a moment. Okay. We're since 9/11, it wasn't long before we were in Afghanistan, then Iraq. And a lot of us, we know a lot of family members, friends, people who, everybody knows somebody that served. So, and if you know somebody, hey, give them a shout. You know somebody, that passed away, or know somebody that has a family member that passed, give them a shout. Show that respect. That's what today is about, showing respect. Before you put on the barbecue, before you go to the beach, just show that respect. Again, because we have a volunteer army and we have volunteers, we don't have a mandatory draft. You don't have to serve because we have volunteers. Because my fat ass volunteered back in 1993, a lot of people, you didn't have to. Because my friends volunteered, you didn't have to. Again, a lot of countries around the world have mandatory military. We do not. Ours is volunteer. And it's because these people volunteer that you don't have to serve. All right. So show some respect. Again, pretty pleased with sugar on top. Separate the politics, the government, and the individuals. Okay. Nine out of 10 individuals who serve in the military, men and women, they're doing it for a personal reason. Okay. They're not warmongers. They're not all looking to kill. They're not like, yeah, let's go to war. No. It's just, they just want to serve the country. They want to do something. Maybe they're looking for a little adventure. Hey, I was looking for a little adventure. I was young. I was looking to get out of New York City. Things weren't going my way. The reasons are many, but do not hate those individuals. Do not look at them with a crooked eye. Okay. Because, hey, you don't know why they serve, why they joined. And you should not hold whatever decisions the politicians and the governments make against them. Like I said, I served 8 years in the infantry, trained to fight, trained to defend, trained to attack, the whole nine. And I didn't see combat. Was that my decision? No, it wasn't. It so happens that the administration that was in power during my 8 years, I don't know. There wasn't a war. They didn't look for a war. They didn't find a war. Nothing was going on. Okay. There were some things. There were some things going around the world, but my administration happened to say, no, we're not going to send troops, or no, we're not going to, you know what I'm saying? So it's not my decision. Okay. So you got to separate the government and the politicians and the decision makers from the individuals. Respect the individuals. It's Memorial Day weekend. Respect those who served and lost their life. Never, ever should we have a repeat of what happened in Vietnam when those soldiers and Marines and Navy and airmen came home. They should never be spit on or treated like that. If you know anybody or a family member, or even see somebody with a Vietnam hat, because there's a lot of ex-vets, they wear their gear and stuff like that. Just give them a shout. Say, especially the Vietnam ones, man. I can't tell you how much it bothers me that they got spit on. You know what I'm saying? It's like they did not deserve that. And that was a draft, so some of them didn't even have a choice. Okay, and they put their asses on the line. They came home to be spit at, and just unacceptable. So yeah, give them a shout, give them a little salute, just give them a little wink, anything. Just give them something, because they didn't deserve that. I know, since then we've been pretty good. Since then we've been pretty good in honoring our soldiers, but we just still need that reminder, because it could slip. People, again, people will slip, people will think the wrong thing. Who knows what happens in the near future, but we cannot have a repeat of what happened during Vietnam and our military coming home. So again, just pay homage, pay respect, recognize, and hey, and then barbecue. Go to the beach, hang with the family, have a blast, have a good time. It's a 3-day weekend. I know we're on lockdown. Like I said, hey, this is a good time to catch up and see a movie. Hey, again, I served with the 1st Cavalry Division, 2nd Battalion, 7th Cavalry, Gary Owen. Go see the Mel Gibson movie. We Were Soldiers. That's my unit. Very proud. I take a lot of pride in my unit's history, but that's my unit. We Were Soldiers, Lieutenant Colonel Hal Moore, absolutely great leader. Love him to death. But yeah, you got to see the movie. Mel Gibson did a great job. I actually own the movie and see all the deleted scenes, and it's definitely I still got to get the book. But yeah, take the time. I know they're playing a lot of they always play military movies all weekend long, Memorial Day weekend, but take the time to recognize. And hey, talk to your kids. Let them know. Let them recognize, because that's how it is. All right, and just pay homage. Call somebody that lost somebody in the military, or even somebody who served. Again, Memorial Day is about honoring the ones we've lost in battle. Okay, but even the ones that did come home still lost, and I think we need to recognize that too. Okay, I go to the VA before anyway. I used to go to the VA every week. I got some therapy and some groups that I go to, so I got a lot of buddies and friends that served and was in combat, and I can tell you firsthand that they're the ones who lost completely, but even the ones that came back still lost. Again, some physically, some mentally, some spiritually, in some way, shape, or form, they lost something. So yeah, give them a shout, give them an honor. Say, yo, I know you served. Buy them a freaking beer. Say, yo, I know you served, dog. Thank you. Just that's it. Again, we're honoring the ones who did not make it, but I know a lot of guys who did come back and they still lost. All right, so I don't know. That's pretty much it for me today, guys. Just wanted to pay my respect, and it's Memorial Day weekend, and shout out to everybody who served. Let somebody know, again, give them a call, give them a shout, give them a thumbs up, give them a salute, buy them a beer. All right, and don't forget. All right, so hey, once again, thank you so much for watching Hot Pudge Sunday, Facebook Live, every Sunday. Hopefully I'll get this technological fucking shit. Every week is a challenge. I'm an idiot when it comes to technology and the cell phone. I should be outside, but hey, it's cool. I'm with you. I got the camouflage. I'm all right. But let's see what happens next Sunday. Hopefully I'll be somewhere. I'll fix my phone and I'll be somewhere live. And once again, guys, every Sunday, Hot Pudge Sunday, Facebook Live, 1 o'clock. And tonight, every Sunday night, and also Wednesdays, I got picked up for another season. Instagram Live, one-on-one. Hot Pudge Sunday, Instagram Live, one-on-one. Tonight, in honor of Memorial Day, I have a combat veteran. And also he's a comedian. Go figure. So I have a combat veteran, and and I'm going to talk about everything I'm talking about today. And tune in, Instagram Live, 8 o'clock. His name is James Mack. He served with the 82nd Airborne. Very kick-ass. I regret not going airborne. It's one of the things I pissed off about when I joined. I forgot to ask for airborne. But yes, James Mack, 82nd Airborne, combat veteran. I know he was in Afghanistan. And I'm going to talk to him tonight, Instagram Live, 8 o'clock. So Hot Pudge Sunday, one-on-one, Instagram Live, every Sunday, 8 o'clock. And also on Wednesdays, 8 o'clock. Hot Pudge Wednesday, one-on-one will start this Wednesday at 8 o'clock as well. So I'm going to have 2 Instagram Lives doing interviews every week, Sunday night, Wednesday night. You'll go to my Instagram, go to my Facebook. I'm going to start posting and promoting all the people I'll be interviewing. A lot of cool people. Some of them and I'm excited. Can't wait. So I'm rolling. I'm working. I'm hustling. I'm grinding. This Corona thing is not keeping me down. So yeah, thank you for watching Hot Pudge Sunday Facebook Live. Check out Hot Pudge Sunday one-on-one Instagram Live tonight at 8, and Hot Pudge Wednesday one-on-one 8 o'clock this Wednesday. And if you miss anything, YouTube Hot Pudge Sunday. I post up all my videos there. All right. So hey, thank you very much. Have a great Memorial Day. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. Don't forget honor, respect, and always, always, always a lot of love to all the vets. Peace out.